Durag Diaries. Welcome back, people, to another episode, another match review. We're here positive, man. Tottenham 4, Aston Villa 1. We done the business this weekend. Homecoming win, much needed result, especially off the back of that Palace game. But before we get into any of that, you already know what you got to do. Housekeeping. When you check in, make sure you tap that button below me right here. You like, you share, you subscribe, show some love. That's what we're all about in this content creation thing, man. Anyone that I collab with, anyone you see on my channel, please make sure you show them some love. Their channels will be in the description too. But today, we're here to talk about Spurs, the mighty Spurs. And I even can't do that without mentioning, big up to the Sports Direct Arena boys. Newcastle, they done the job that we needed to. They got our lick back. A much needed result from them too. It's a good weekend. It's a very, very good weekend. Arsenal, City drop points. Tottenham pick up. And this win, it didn't take us into the fourth position, but it helps us push on. It helps us push on 2 points off Arsenal in fourth. And we're in a decent position now. But let's talk about the game. A lot of people were surprised to see Maddison drop to the bench. And I know we spoke about it beforehand, most definitely in the Palace game, that sometimes we're not going to need him in there. Sometimes there are going to be different games where you need a different solution in midfield. You need legs, you need runners, someone that's going to be able to cover ground. And especially in a game against Aston Villa where, if I'm being honest, they've got one of the better midfields in the league. Onana holding it down in that 6. And then you got McGinn in front of him who's just putting in work. He's everywhere. And then in front of him, you got the likes of Tielemans and Morgan Rogers. They play with a really weird formation. It's a 3 in the middle with one just ahead of them. But Morgan Rogers is running the field, as we saw yesterday, causing problems. From minute 1, it was a foul. It was a foul fest. Honestly, team, we were just going at it. But that's what I wanted to see. The heart. The retribution they wanted to get back from last week. And that's exactly what we needed. Unfortunate to go a goal down, as it does be the Spurs way. I was saying on my match reaction yesterday that this team reminds me of the second season Spurs team. Very similar under Poch, the very second season Poch Spurs team, where we'd always go 1-0 down. I remember against Hull. I remember against the likes of Villa again. I remember even games against like Southampton, we were going 1-0 down, but we were coming back and winning 2-1, 3-1, 4. We would come back and blowing teams away, but it always took until that halftime team talk to wake these motherfuckers up. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. But let's talk about that goal conceded, man. Poor defending. Absolutely poor. We need to get better on the zonal marking for our defensive set pieces. Because I really don't get what we're doing. The layout doesn't make no sense. The fact that we conceded that when we had 2 man, the ball flashed across to the face of goal and 2 guys hit it and neither of them could get a clean connection. Neither of them showed enough conviction to clear the ball. And we saw every time they got a free kick on the edge of the box or corner, players are looking around. They're looking a bit shook. They're like, oh, shit, this is not what we wanted. You can't be panicking in those situations. You can tell it on the team's face. They look shook. They look panicked. Unfortunately for us, we only conceded from the one of them. But I have to say the performance all round was very good. Very good performance. We well managed that game. We didn't give up too many chances to Villa. They broke us down a few times, but we managed to keep the ball really well. First half, we moved it really good. We kept getting into the final third, but yet again, we struggled to break down teams that sit into a low block. I think one of our biggest problems when we attack is we do the same thing over and over. It's insanity. It's literally insanity doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. We keep putting it out to the wing and trying to rely on our wing play and the players to beat their man and beat the fullback and then cross the ball in. One thing for that is Solanke's not a guy that dominates the air. He's not aerially dominant a striker. So when you keep putting that ball in the box, it's going to no one. And then to caveat that, you have the likes of Johnson, who's going to run to the byline and cross it in along the floor, but he's not putting it to anyone. He's just putting it across the box on the floor, and it's always hitting defenders. And that's why we end up with 6 or 7 corners in the first half of every game this season. Yet again, another issue. I ain't even here to talk about the issues, though. I'm trying to stay focused on the positives, but there is just some problems that need to be sorted out. But let's talk about the positives, man. Because at the end of the day, first half wasn't amazing, but we went in with a goal behind and we come out and with 3 minutes in, we needed to see reaction. I said it. I said this needed to be what Brighton done to us. This needed to be what I've seen earlier this season. Need to come out the second half and show that we're going to change. And within the first 5 minutes, we see a reaction. Son was playing like a man possessed. He said, I'm going to make something happen before I come off, because Andrew already premeditated the sub that he was going to play no more than 60 minutes. So Son said, I'm going to do something, and I'm going to leave with something. And what a ball into the box it was. He gets it on the left-hand side, shifts it onto his left-hand foot, swings it into the back post, and you see Solanke and Johnson running in to tap that in. Johnson gets there. Good first well-worked goal, and exactly what we needed to start the half. Boosted us heavily, but straight after that, don't know what Romero was doing, man. I'm praying this is not an injury. But when I said it, I said he's not a Rolls Royce, I had to take it back. He's a Range Rover. This is exactly what I mean. You put your foot down too much in a Range Rover and you start hearing the engine sound funny. They start breaking up. And that's exactly what happened. He put his foot down and then injury. We had to see the game out with Ben Davies and Dragusin in the back line. My heart was shaking. I can't lie. Even in the 90th minute at 4 goals up, my heart was shaking. I was quaking in my boots. That back line does not leave me with any confidence. Any confidence. But luckily enough, we wasn't the only team with the stoppages and the injuries. I believe Villa took 2 man off. I think they may have had a McGinn injury and a Morgan Rogers injury. Matty Cash injury and then a Morgan Rogers injury. And there was just a few interruptions between, I'd say, minute 55 or minute 50 to about minute 65. There was just a lot of stop-starts. The game started to be one where it wasn't flowing much. A lot of disruptions, corners, throw-ons, and we didn't really find our flow. We started to lose our rhythm, and you could see it. You could see we was not happy with that. Andrew was potent and telling the team that you need to make something happen here. We've got 20 minutes left to go of normal time. Make it happen. We are not going to have another game or another performance like Palace or Brighton, where the second half are just lackluster. Absolutely lackluster performance. But that's exactly not what happened. It's the exact opposite of what happened. We turn up. We turn the volume up. We put on the jets. And great. Well, for that goal, I have to give it to Kulusevski, man. Oh! Kulusevski's been class this year. Gliding all across the pitch. They call him Decky. I'm going to have to start calling him Deku, because man is all in one. He's got everything, bro. Everything. If you know MHA, My Hero Academia, man like Deku. We're assembling the anime Avengers right now. You get what I'm saying? We got Dom Solanke up top, and if you don't know, bagged the goal yesterday from that ball from Kulusevski. A cute little kiss into the goal. That's all. It was a little, just over the goalkeeper, little dink. And do you know what that finish shows me? That showing me that this man has not lost no confidence in front of goal. 6 games he had it without a shot on goal, without a shot on target. And people were calling him out on Twitter. They were yapping on his name. I said, look, the work speaks for itself. Look what he does all over the pitch. As long as we play through him today, check the tweets, we're going to have success. And that's exactly what we done. Played through Solanke, kissed it over the goalkeeper, into the goal, and what a goal it was. Straight off the back of that, 4 minutes later, he wasn't waiting. He said, 1, nah, forget that. I want 2 today. Great win back from Ben Davies about halfway up the pitch. Papsar moved the ball quick into a Richarlison, who I thought was going to shoot. pretty much 1v1 with the goalkeeper. Clever cross back. Fucking hell. Clever cut back across the box into Slanky's feet, who just walks it into the net. At that point, the game was done. The game was over. And that's when we started to sense a feel of relief. Big, big home performance. 4 goals as well. 4 goals. Can't do this video without speaking about the man himself, James Madders. You know, he come off the bench and he said, I ain't going to leave with nothing too. This is a game where everyone's having fun. Let me get some. Whoop. Into the top bins, you know. Watch that free kick. He hasn't. No one scored a free kick for Tottenham in years. Donkeys. The last time we did was against Wolves, and I think it was 2 seasons ago under Nuno, where the ball or Watford, sorry, and it just curled in from one of them dodgy crosses. But finally, after Ericsson left us, we've been starving. And that's exactly what we needed to see, man. 96th minute. Maddison didn't play no games. Just put it into the top bins. And that was a job done. A job very well done. Good home win. Much needed 3 points. And as I said, 4 goals takes us to the top of the goal scoring charts in the Premier League this weekend. Not this weekend. This season. They were trying to tell me my attack's rubbish. This, that. Check the statistics, bro. Check the statistics, months. Where's Liverpool's attack now? Where's your attackers now? Nowhere to be seen. No, I'm not going to gas it up too much, but it is very good. Confident to see. It's very good, and we can take some confidence from the fact that our team is top of the goal scoring charts. Although we lack to create some chances, we can put teams away. And as I said all season, when teams open up against us, we're always going to bag. We're always going to create problems. It's just the teams that sit back where we're going to have our most issues. But just before we leave, I need to give you some stats, because I like to, leave you with some where they can't lie. They can't say George is lying today. Durag Diaries is waffling, because the stats back up the facts. Spurs have conceded the 4th least goals in the Premier League this season. We've scored the most goals in the Premier League this season. We have the 2nd best goal difference in the Premier League this season. We have the 3rd most wins in the Premier League this season. We've beaten Man United, Man City, Villa, and we've won 9 of our last 11. This is a team that I've been worried about. This is a team that are called finished. They said they're not doing nothing this year. Check the stats. We're doing our thing. We're doing our thing low-key under the radar. And this was another one that I saw on Twitter that I thought I had to point out. I had to discuss, because I know even me, I've been critical of our season so far. It hasn't been amazing. It's been a bit stop-start. There's been some games you look at and you're like, we need to win points there. But compared to last season, in the exact same fixtures, so same way, Villa at home and all of this, we've got 16 compared to 13 points last season in these same games. We scored 22 as opposed to 20. We conceded 11 goals compared to 23. Goal difference is plus 11 as opposed to minus 3. Our expected goals has gone up by 1 in 19.78 as opposed to 18.79. And the expected goals against has gone down by a significant 5. The XG against is only 11.7 as opposed to 17.5 in the same fixtures last year. Huge improvement on last season. Huge. We've taken a step forward. There is definitely progression that we can see under Ange. In the football, in the results, people just need to take their time. This team is going to do something. It's going to be something. But we just need to be patient. Happy with the 4-1 this weekend. Happy with the result. And on to Galatasaray we go. Huge game in Istanbul in the midweek. I can't say that this is one that I'm looking forward to. It's a tough away ground. One that no one's going to want to go to. We saw what happened to Manchester United last year. Capitulation. But that ain't going to happen to us. We're going to do the job. We're going to do the business. Hopefully, we can get a big result and big win in that game and remain unbeaten in the Europa League. But we're going to do a preview for that one later this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode of Durag Diaries. And please make sure before you leave, you drop a like, you drop a share, and subscribe to the channel for more. This has been Durag Diaries. You'll see me on other shows later on today. If you want to hear more from me, if you're watching on a playback, just go on my Twitter and you'll see what shows I've been on. Durag Diaries, we're out.